Hi, I'm Wendell G. Welcome back to the Worldtopia Baseball League. We're still in front of spring training here, 2044. I thought I'd do a quick review of Australia as we work our way on the Tour de South League. Australia, let's start off with pitching. Near and dear to my heart. Australia has made it known that some of their pitchers are available and they'd be happy to move them. However, they're assigned to big contracts. Gerardo Infante, a fine pitcher, really fine pitcher, on a really fine, well, he's got a $10 million contract. He's in his last year, and he's a good pitcher. It's not a terrible contract for an excellent starting pitcher. He had a good year last year with Australia, 14-11, 3.15 ERA. He started 34 games, cranked out 240 innings. That's a lot of innings. 1.15 WHIP. 0.5 home runs per 9 innings, 2.7 walks per 9 innings, 7.6 strikeouts per 9 innings, 5.1 WAR player. This guy, I like Infante. In fact, I looked at him a couple of years ago. He was he a free agent? Yeah. At the end of 2042, he was a free agent. And Australia snapped him up to a 2-year contract at $22 million. I presume that was a $12 million, $10 million split. Yeah, here we go, 12, 10. He had been a hammer before that and was on a $17 million contract before he hit free agency. I really like this guy. He was an all-star in the South League last year. He's 34. I think this guy brings value. Spronk. There's Spronk in my deal. I think this guy brings value in a rotation, and Australia has made it known that he's available. If he doesn't get moved, he is, I think, without a doubt, he's on a 105 pitch count. Nice. He is the ace of the Australia rotation. Dr. Sad is also available. He, however, is on an $18 million contract with a team option of $17 million for next year. Dr. Sad, another fine pitcher. He had a 3.64 ERA, 1.19 WHIP last year for Australia, but didn't get a whole lot of run support and went 9-17 in 33 starts. Dr. Sad's another fine pitcher, a 3.7 WAR. Last year, 95 to 97 miles an hour, ground ball, very nice. 32, when you start seeing this kind of nonsense up here on a 32-year-old, you know he's fallen off. So, yeah, it looks like his slider has really fallen off, according to Howard, Ghost of Howard. Still, Dr. Sad would make a good starter if somebody's got the $18 million to afford him. Other than those two guys, you can see, just look back through here, Australia's pitching lineup is pretty old. They're probably even older than mine. Just about everybody here is 32 except for Jeong Kim, who was just claimed on waivers last week. Yeah, Australia, this is going to be what you got to call a rebuilding year for Australia. Their pitching core is really nothing to, write home about. Their one bright spot, young guy Tyrone Massey, age 23. He's a starter material perhaps, but with that stuff, he probably isn't going to be. I don't know, man. Maybe if you put him at reliever, his stuff goes up to 55 or 60. But still, he's got the stamina, and he's only got 2 pitches, so he's a reliever all the way. A reliever all the way. Well, so Australia is pretty thin on pitching. Let's go check, make sure anybody on the disabled list. Oh, Paco Duran. Who is Tizard? He's a Class A pitcher. Paco. Tommy John surgery for a partially torn UCL. $6 million salary through when? 6 flat salary through 2048. That could be a good deal, or it could be a total ripoff. Paco is the pride of Australia pitching. Ground ball pitcher, brings it 98 to 100 miles an hour. Last year, before his injury, he started 22 games, 3.66 ERA, and a 1.27 WHIP. He went 5-13 last year. Didn't get a whole lot of run support, and he walked a fair share of hitters. Still, 2.4 WAR in 22 starts. So this is an elite class pitcher right here. I like Paco. I think we all do. And there's been a lot of offers for Paco out there. Well, that's pitching for Australia. Let's go position pitchers. He's got 12 pitchers on the roster. And who is Urridge? Nicholas Urridge. We didn't see him. Looks like he's down in AAA. He's on the 40-man roster. It's a good-looking closer type. Actually, very versatile closer type. He's got 3 pitches and 3 great pitches and 1 more decent pitch. 35 stamina. Urridge looks good. He looks really, really good. Okay. Breedfeld. What does Breedfeld look like? Not great. Australia is obviously in a rebuilding year. Let's look at their batting lineup. And they've got DLS. They traded for DLS earlier this year. In fact, they sent some good stuff for DLS. I'm not really sure why. They sent Theory Charles, catcher, Juan Ortiz, center fielder, to Cairo, in exchange for some cash plus DLS. Man, I don't know, man. What was Leach thinking? De Los Santos in his final few years here is very expensive. I don't know. That trade doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Andy Durach, that trade makes a ton of sense to me. I love Andy Durach. In fact, I wanted him to be a mule. In fact, if he was a mule, many of Moscow problems would be solved. So talk to me, NML. Let's see if we can make a deal for Durach. Good contact. I mean, great defense, good speed, great speed. In fact, good base running. Good Pac-Man type distribution, contact and gap, I and avoid K, but not a whole lot of home run power. He'll hit a few home runs. Former Amsterdam product. He did pretty lousy on the Australia roster. I'm presuming he didn't have much protection in the lineup. But this guy, 284, 344. That's the kind of hitter that you want out of shortstop position. And he's very versatile, second, third, and short. He is on a $3.1 million. He's 23. $3.1 million contract, flat through 2048. I'd like to have him, man. I'd like to have him. So Durach, Urridge, Infante, Dr. Sad. I think those guys are the core of the Australia Baseball Club. I don't know these other guys too well. Let's go look at, let's see, let me think. Lineups, graphical depth chart. And no household names here except for DLS and Durach. Herman Castillo playing shortstop. Decent. A plus WAR player because of defense, not from his hitting. Although Castillo did knock 7 homers last year. A waiver claim. Australia's playing. I don't know what kind of game Australia's playing. Let's go look at their minor leagues. How are they in minors here? They got one outstanding prospect. Right fielder Caden Trail, age 22. Fine looking prospect. Probably can play all outfield positions pretty well. Probably can get the call up. He's been a year and a half or a year and a month in AAA. He did well in AAA, 260 last year. Got a lot of growth left. So Trail, let's see, Rita would be worth a call up too. He's 25. He's ready for the call. Yeah, so here we go with Australia. Just a quick 10-minute look. Batting potential. How come I keep losing my views? Here we go. Let's see, 40-man roster. We got some young talent here. Caden Trail, Andy Durach to build around. What does George Miller look like? You see also, he is a WBLer on the minimum. He got the call up, 264, 334, 106 plus OPS plus, 14 home runs. That's a good player here. Outfield range and error. With that kind of arm, a 45 arm, he plays a good center field. Rated 60 at center field. Is that good enough arm for center field? I guess it is. Good looking center fielder. I'd like to have him too. Let's make a package deal. DeRoch and Miller for a pitcher or two. What do you think, Leach? Let's do it. Well, that's pretty much my look at Australia. Man, I kind of thought this would go a little bit longer. Minor leagues. Is that all we got in the minors? Let's look at pitchers. Urich. Arado. Oh man. Lahab. Well, Leach needs some depth. He needs some farm system. He needs pitching. He needs hitting. Yeah. So that's Australia. Wow. Australia's starting from a tough position right now. Top prospects. Werner. This is a good guy. This is a good pitcher. He was only rated a maximum of 2 stars, really. He might be ready. He's definitely ready for AAA, maybe for AA. How'd he do in, maybe for WBL. He did okay in AA. Age 20. It wouldn't hurt for him to have another year of AA, but he'll be pretty much ready for the WBL next year, I think. This will be a fine pitcher in the rotation. Mole. I don't know how I overlooked him. His rating, I guess. Petya Umpalev. Good on base kind of a guy. Occasional power. Good outfield range. Outfielder, yeah. This guy's good. He was actually on the WBL roster. I missed that. Hit 277, 292 last year. Just a slightly negative WAR, but he'll grow into his role. All right, well, that's Australia. I'll be back for another one.